Welcome to the Know Before You Go Travel Show, where we share all the latest travel tips, tricks, and insights to make your next vacation the best one yet. So sit back, relax, grab a cocktail, and enjoy the show with Penyak Travel's George Penyak and our senior travel consultant, Janet Penyak.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
We are back for another edition of the Know Before You Go Travel Show, and man, we got another great show.
Yep, it's been a few weeks because it has just been a crazy busy few weeks.
Well, we traveled. We were gone for
I was gonna
two
say,
of them.
We went to Europe and just getting ready. I mean, as I'm sure all of you know, whenever you get ready on vacation, you have like a million things to do. And yeah, so that was us. And then we just adopted 2 new pups. So
we have 2 new pups.
They are a handful, but that was one of our weekends was that. So,
and when we say pups, we mean like they're older German shepherds. They're big dogs, 2 of them.
Yes,
they're a bonded pair.
Yes, and they are amazing. They're Jake and Lucia, and I'm sure we will post pictures on our Facebook page because that's just what we do.
Yeah, 2 big balls of fun.
Yeah,
older dogs, but sometimes you got to adopt the older dogs. We take care of them.
That's right.
Man, but what? So yeah, we haven't done a show in a while, and really that's because we were gone for 9 nights in Europe.
Yeah, we were 10 days, something like that. Yeah.
And we apologize if we sound a little under the weather. That's because on the flight back, we caught something. I don't know what we caught, but we caught some sort of funk on the plane.
Yeah,
battling through it. But we are warriors. We are here to deliver one of the best podcasts you'll ever hear, all while we're under the weather. Actually, I feel good. I just feel like I don't sound good.
Yeah, no, and I feel fine too.
It's just like we sound.
Well,
weird.
I mean, planes anyways are like capsules of germs.
Yeah.
And then we had an 9.5 hour flight back from Paris, and
that was brutal.
It was like one of the worst flights ever too, because our entertainment system didn't work, and so we literally had nothing to do. The Wi-Fi wasn't working, so we just sat there and I guess inhaled someone else's germs, and now we both have come down with a little cold. So
yeah, but we battle through. That's what we do.
That's right. But we had a amazing trip in Europe. So we did 4 different cities.
Yeah. So before
this is part 1.
Yeah, we're going to do a series on this because we stayed at 4 phenomenal destinations while we were there. Had a great time. If any of our fans out there follow the podcast, I hate overnight flights. So that's going to be one of the first things we talk about. But yeah, we had a great time in Europe. Go ahead and rattle off the 4 places we stayed.
Do you even remember?
Yeah, I remember.
So we went to London first, and then we went to Amsterdam, and then we went down to Bordeaux, and we actually stayed in 2 different areas in Bordeaux. One was outside the city in the wine region, and then we stayed one night in the city, and then we ended in Paris.
Yeah, and so that's why we've been kind of a break from the podcast, because we tried to actually, we brought the equipment, we just couldn't pull it off.
Well, George always thinks that we're somehow going to magically pull off a podcast when we're on vacation, and we never have time. So
darn right I do. I think we're going to pull it off one day. It's going to be really cool.
I think it's a waste of space in your bag, but whatever.
No, the mics aren't that heavy.
Okay. Well, you were complaining about how heavy your book bag was.
All right, on to the next. No, so we'll go ahead and... So, yeah, we're going to talk about Europe. So, I think this is going to be probably like a 3 or 4-part series. This will be part 1.
Yes.
Because we want to make sure that we cover every destination to the fullest that we went to. Because we went to some awesome places. And by the way, guys, before we go any further, you guys have been hitting us up through our website, on Facebook and Instagram, and we love it.
Yes.
We cannot thank our listeners enough that... Here's something interesting. If you hear something interesting to yourself and you want more information, go right to the website, penyaktravel.com. You can fill out a quote request, and it goes right to us. And we just love hearing from our fans. Make sure you put in the notes that you heard us on the Know Before You Travel show, and it just gives us all the warm and fuzzies.
Oh my gosh, the smile that comes across George's face.
Well, it's cool because we do put a lot of time and effort.
It makes both of us really happy. But it's just, I like to laugh about that because starting the podcast was his idea initially, and I was like, really, I don't know if that's going to work, but it's been really great.
I just thought we go through so many different experiences and we know so much. I said, well, let's just give all our best information away for free, and then hopefully people will think it's really great and listen. And we actually are charting on iTunes.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
But we're charting on the I don't even know what it's called, like the travel section.
Yeah.
We're charting. So
That's
just,
really
just
neat.
got that email the other day. Pretty cool. So thank you guys. But let's jump right into it. So London.
Yes. And by the way, so we did all of these places in 10 days. So it was a jam-packed itinerary, and I usually don't recommend that, but honestly, I'm glad that we did that because I do get requests from a lot of people say, hey, I want to go see all of these cities and I only have a week. And I'm like, I don't know that you should do that. You're not going to get to enjoy your time. But we really did get to enjoy our time in each city. So in London, we were there for 2 days, basically.
Yeah, we took an overnight flight out of Charlotte. So let's just talk about that. So,
let's just you want some tissues?
Yeah, I do need some tissues because I'm going to whine about this.
Yeah, he's going to whine about it.
Overnight flight sucked.
I know.
There's no way around it. It just sucked.
It was.
I don't sleep on it. I knew I wasn't going to sleep, and I'm like, here we go. We get on this plane. I'm like, let's go to Europe. Yay, this will be great. And we had a blast in Europe, but I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm going to be up for 35-ish, maybe even longer straight hours.
Yes.
And yep, and it was exactly what I thought it would be. I was a zombie.
Well, you at least put the cover over your eyes and had the blanket. Like you were trying to sleep for a while. I thought you actually had fallen asleep.
I tried so hard.
Yeah.
I tried so dang hard. I had my hoodie on. I had noise-canceling headphones on. I had the thing that covers your eyes. I was leaned all the way back, as far back as the coach seat will let you. And you know what? The whole time, just stayed up.
Yeah.
Just stayed up the whole time. It's impossible. It's hopeless for me to sleep on a plane. I give up. I'm never trying again. It's just a waste of time. I might as well.
I didn't sleep either. So.
I might as well just
I just kept watching movies because I was like, I'm not falling asleep, so I'm just gonna keep watching movies.
I'm just gonna do blog posts. I'm just gonna get out Microsoft Word and just hammer out blog posts. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do.
And one thing I do want to say, and we fly American Airlines a lot,
and they take good care of us. I do like American.
Yes, and it's a hub in Charlotte, and so we fly them a lot. You can go pretty much direct anywhere from there. Yep. But we were a little disappointed with that flight.
Yeah, so things must have changed over the course since last time we flew internationally. So they do give you
flew to Europe.
Yeah, so the wine service wasn't as good, like the drink service. I think they only came around twice.
They only came twice. If we were going to try to sleep, then I would have liked to have a little more wine.
Yeah, because we were in coach. We were not in premium economy or first class. I didn't have premium economy on this flight.
And they only filled our wine cups halfway full.
Yeah, an American.
It was weak. It was very weak.
I know, an American always comes through for me, and I was like, yeah, this is the first time in a while I was like, come on, American.
Yeah.
I know you can do better. We love you. We got
no power outlets.
No power outlets. That was another thing. I was like, come on, no outlets to charge your stuff. I mean,
yeah, the entertainment didn't work for the first hour on the flight.
Entertainment was down. I really think a lot of these problems stem from the Boeing issue, where they have a lot less planes in their fleet because they had plans to order so many of those Boeing planes that aren't in the ones that crashed. And everyone stopped all the orders, but they probably budgeted to have those planes in their portfolio.
That doesn't excuse the wine service.
No, it definitely doesn't excuse the wine service. But anyways, regardless, we're getting off track here a little bit. But yeah, the flight over, just we powered through. We didn't sleep well.
Yeah, we didn't sleep at all.
Yeah, I shouldn't say well at all.
Yeah, so we landed in London.
And I've never seen the movie I've never seen the show The Walking Dead. I don't follow it, but that's what I felt like. I was The Walking Dead.
He was horrible, absolutely horrible.
I was a terrible person. It's the worst form of myself because I'm just cranky and I just... Yeah.
I know, I was way to ruin vacation.
I wasn't ruining it.
Well, you were in a horrible mood.
I was in a real horrible mood. I was like,
I'm going to go out and see all this stuff myself then.
No, I went with you. I was just, the physical effect of not sleeping for 30-something hours, and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just sensitive to that, I don't know. It's draining. No,
I know it's draining, but I think I was so hyped up on adrenaline because we were there and I was super excited. I had a list of things I wanted to go see and do. So, and I knew, I'm like, I just got to power through and then go to bed, around 6 because I don't want to go to bed now and then my time will really be off. Then that way I'm only, messed up for 1 day. So.
Yeah, and we did. And honestly, this one was better than the last one. So the last time I went to Europe.
Oh, yeah, and I didn't get sick on this one.
You didn't get
that
sick.
Was good.
You didn't get sick, and actually, I was exhausted, but I wasn't as bad as I was before. So I shouldn't whine and complain about it, because it really wasn't that bad. I'm kind of half, tongue in cheek whining, but
his attitude was very bad. So.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Okay,
I don't know.
So we stayed.
We could debate this all day.
Yes, so we stayed at the Royal Horse Guards Hotel.
Yeah, so
talk
about the hotel, talk about the location and why you picked it.
Yeah, so it's beautiful. It's right centrally located, but kind of on a quiet street. But it's right next to the Thames River, right near London Eye, Big Ben, Westminster Bridge. All of that is right there.
Yeah.
And I've had lots of clients stay there, and they've always loved it. One of the coolest things that I thought whenever we pulled up, and they had like the British doorman. I don't know, like you just see
with
that.
The top hat.
Yeah, with the
really
top
cool.
hat. Like you see that on TV.
The gloves and the top hat. Yeah, it was a very nice, and he was wearing a 3-piece tuxedo.
Oh yeah, like it was
very dapper.
Very British. And it was really nice. We enjoyed that hotel. It was beautiful, clean. The room was very spacious.
Yeah, you typically in Europe you get smaller hotel rooms. That's just what you see.
Right.
This room, not the case. It felt like any normal size, even large size hotel room here back in the States.
Yes.
So it was really good from a size standpoint.
And I did book a slightly upgraded room. I think it was like the second up, the executive, but it was
it's not like we went all out. It was like a medium.
Yeah. But excellent location. 2 other hotels that are really nice in a similar area, the Park Plaza, Westminster Bridge, which we walked by, and I put a lot of clients there, and it's usually a little bit better price than the Royal Horse Guards. And then that Marriott that we ate lunch at.
Oh, yeah, we had lunch at the Marriott. That place was really good. Really good restaurant down there. Know before you go travel tip, the burgers are not the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had a weird burger. Maybe it was just that hotel. They had some sort of fancy burger, but it I don't know. But that was a great restaurant, though. It was a steakhouse.
Something with an O. Your burger was made. Oh, like an ox or something? I don't know.
Could have been. I think it was a hamburger with ox meat on top of it or something like that.
Yeah, very strange.
It wasn't the best burger I've had. But the restaurant was very cool. And our hotel had a really good restaurant that we ate dinner at.
Yes,
and,
the very first night. Yeah, we went down there. I think we just split a pizza.
Yeah, we were so tired. But, one of the things I really liked about our hotel, which called, what was it, the Royal
Horse Guards.
Yes. It had a lounge with a bar separate, and it also had the restaurant. And
yes.
the restaurant was out. You could sit inside or outside.
Yeah, and that was really nice. And the weather was great.
Oh, the weather was awesome. We sat outside. We had a bottle of wine. We had some pizza.
Yes.
They had like a wood-fired grill outside.
It was very nice.
So nice. So nice. And the location, you could not beat the location.
Yeah.
I mean, you pretty much walk right out of the hotel. You can walk everywhere.
Yeah.
We did...
we did not partake in any tea.
No, we didn't do any tea. But they had afternoon tea
at
the hotel.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, tea's not really... I don't even drink sweet tea, and I'm from South Carolina. So.
I drink tea. I mean, I haven't had some in a while, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, but we didn't do that. But I do know a lot of people love it. So
yeah, well, so I crushed. We ate so many croissants.
Okay, that was not in London.
They had croissants in London, didn't they?
No.
Oh, I had fish and chips. I had the fish and chips.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, know before you go, the fish and chips aren't like like the chips you imagine. If you get fried chips here in the States, it's actually like the potato, the thin cut potato, and they fry it. Like if you get it at a bar or pub here, it's more like potato chips, but
right.
It's,
or French fries.
But that's what I mean. Like it's French fries, but in the form of potato chips.
Yeah.
Over there, you call it chips. It's literally just fries. It's hand cut fries.
Yeah.
Which were good. The fish and chips were good.
I would say I think I enjoyed the food the best out of all the places that we visited. The best in London.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. I agree with you.
Except I did get pizza a lot of times.
Yeah, the food was in our opinion. But we had one really good meal. We won't want to spoil our show on coming up for Paris, but we had a really good.
That'll be the last one. Yeah. No, but the second night in London, we ate. I know it sounds bad, but we ate at a chain.
It wasn't really a chain. There's only a few of them.
We didn't even know it was a chain. We never heard of it, but it's called Smith and Wolinski's.
The steakhouse, yeah.
It was a steakhouse, and that was very, very good.
It was really good. That was a good meal. Yeah, that was one of my favorite meals of the trip was that. And
we drank a little too much wine that night.
Drank a little too much wine. We had a pre-dinner cocktail, which we probably could have skipped out on because the next morning we're both like,
and we had we went to that pub before that too, so we had like a pre-cocktail to the pre-dinner cocktail.
Yeah, and
that was not a good idea.
Another thing, though, before you go, and this was kind of a theme across Europe, is they have bars, but there's not really bar stools or chairs. You don't sit at the bar.
Right.
You walk up to the bar and get your beverage and then go find a seat. Now, a lot of them had servers, too, and there were some bar chairs, but, like, you'd see, like, a normal-sized bar at the States, and you'd probably, like, if you can envision a bar that has about 10 bar stools at the States, you're going to get in Europe a bar, if it's the same size bar that holds 10 in the States, you might have 3 or 4 chairs.
Yeah, there just wasn't ever like a lot of people sitting at bars. Everyone always sat at tables.
Yeah, and the servers went and got the drinks from the bar. So it was just kind of a different vibe. It was cool, though.
Right.
And then we hit all the tourist spots. Go ahead and talk about all the stuff we did.
Not all of them, but we did hit a good many, that I wanted to see in London. So we went to Trafalgar Square. We did the London Eye, which I know is super touristy, but I definitely recommend it just because the views are really pretty and you can see the whole city and see out really far and just how big London is. And we did the champagne experience, which I definitely recommend because you get to hang out in this like private lounge beforehand and before your scheduled time to get on.
Yep.
And then they come and pick you up or, get you from the lounge and then take you in. And you don't have to wait in a line or anything like that. So I definitely recommend it, even if you don't drink champagne, because they had other stuff on there like sodas and water. But
yeah, and for those people that don't know what the London Eye is, it's
like a big Ferris wheel.
It's like a huge Ferris wheel, and instead of having chairs, you have like capsules that you sit in, and you can like hang out in. They're enclosed little bubbles that you sit in and stand in, and they fit about 20. Probably what do we have? 10 to 15, 20 people in there.
I think we had at least like 20, maybe even 25 people. Yeah, it was big.
And it was huge. And you walk around in there and it's air conditioning. And we got some champagne. And that was real nice. That was a real nice touch.
Very, very nice. And like I said, even if you don't drink or don't want the champagne, just still go because they have water and soda. And then you can at least still hang out at the lounge before and you don't have to wait in line. So.
Yeah.
That was nice. And then we, of course, saw Big Ben, but it's under construction, so you couldn't see that much of it. The Westminster Palace, walked over Westminster Bridge, Tower of London we saw the outside of.
Yep.
And then we went and saw the changing of the guard, Kensington Palace, and then we got to go inside Buckingham Palace, which was so cool. I think that is my highlight of the entire trip.
Yeah, that was the highlight of the trip for me in the London portion. So that was like the highlight for me for that portion of the trip because that was really cool and the history around it, like just like and seeing some of the thrones that kings and queens sat in from the 17th century.
Oh yeah, it's incredible,
completely wild.
So apparently they only open up Buckingham Palace for visits from the public like 2 months out of the year, and September is one of them. And so if you can go and plan a visit whenever that is open, I highly recommend it just because, you get to go in and see like the dining rooms, like where the Queen still host parties. The picture of William and Kate, their wedding photo, like they were kind of up on a little stage kind of thing. And we got to see that room. We got to see several great areas in there. And it was beautiful and it was so neat. I thought it was fascinating.
Oh, it was
in heaven.
It was definitely fascinating. That exceeded my expectations.
Yes.
That was like well exceeded my expectations. Because I was a little feeling like, okay, we'll do this. Like I knew you were a little more into that than me. But I was just, eyes wide open throughout the whole thing. We did a guided tour, which was great. We wouldn't have a guide, but you have the earpiece in.
Yeah. The woman, she wasn't.
She didn't go in. We did the guided tour of like with the changing of the guards.
Changing of the guard, yeah.
And then it ends at Buckingham Palace, and then they said, okay, there's no more guides, but you're going to get an earpiece, and you can walk through the whole thing and listen, which was awesome.
We thought our tour guide was going to get arrested.
Yeah, she was really given, apparently. So
whenever they do the changing of the guard, like the security is, very tight, and you can't be on the road at all. You can't even have your feet on the road at all. In our tour guide, she was kind of telling us that and lining us up.
She told us to get off the road,
right.
And so the people that were in the tour, me and you and a bunch of other people, were on the curb.
Right.
And she was standing in the road talking to us.
Yes.
Explaining what was about to happen. And nothing was happening yet. But you can see the cops on the bikes riding around. And so I can tell, like she even said, she goes, yeah, you're not supposed to stand on the road. But I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, you're standing in the road.
Yeah.
And here comes the cop on the bike, police officer. Ma'am, you need to get off the road. And she's like, sir, I'm a tour guide. I'm giving a tour here. I am not, I will get off the road when the time's appropriate. My team here is off the road, but I'll get off the road when the time's appropriate. Ma'am, you need to get off the road right now.
Oh, yeah.
And she is giving this guy the business.
Oh, my gosh. They started arguing.
This is about 20 minutes into the tour.
I know. It was right at the very beginning. We were like, oh, okay.
No way you argue like that with a cop here.
No, but she said, she's like, oh, it's the bicycle cops. You can argue with them. The ones that have guns, you don't want to argue with.
Yeah, she's like, don't argue with the one with guns, but the cops on the bike or the police officers on the bike, yeah, you can go back and forth.
She said they're just bicycle cops.
I mean, they were going tit for tat with each other, and I'm just like, this is weird.
Yeah, it was strange, but it was funny.
Yeah, it was a good tour, but yeah, that was a very interesting kind of, not really, I don't want to call it hostile, but it was getting close there. I was like, okay, right. Let's just let's get off the street. It's okay, but that was good. Then we saw, so that tour guide shared some incredible information. So if you're going to do the changing of the guards, highly recommend book that through a tour guide. You have to use a tour guide for that.
Oh yeah, just because everything that she told you about the British history, it's things you learn when you're a kid in like social studies, but you forget.
Yeah, there was some
by the time you're in your 30s, 40s, you've forgotten about all of that, and it was so interesting to hear about the history and like the beheadings and all this crazy
the beheadings
stuff.
And there was some wild stuff that happened like way back in the day, like nothing in modern times, but still it happened in these areas, and like they tell the story. I mean, everything's accounted for in the history books, and it was crazy. But the changing of the guards was interesting. It felt almost like a parade with the music playing and the.
George said he's like, this is too much.
Oh yeah, I felt like it was.
He's like, why do they do this?
Yeah, they were doing a whole parade, like going up and down the streets, and I was kind of like, I'm thinking like these guys are just going to clock in and clock out there because they're guarding the palace, right? Isn't that what they're doing? And I'm like, okay, do we need the band? But I guess it's a tradition or whatever they do, and I think it's really cool. Yeah, because it was very entertaining. And yeah, I think that was the one thing I can say about it is, and listen, I'm not like the biggest history buff, but like that part could have been condensed down to about 30 minutes. That was like a hour and a half affair.
Oh, the whole show thing.
Yeah, it just took
Yeah,
but I see why so many people want to see it because it is an event and it's fun.
Yeah, it's neat.
And it was really cool to see, and you could see the care that the city took and the local police officers took to make sure everything was perfect. Like everyone had to be off the streets. There was no exceptions. Right. And then I saw the world's biggest horse there.
Oh my gosh! So yes, this horse was massive.
So the police, their police are on bicycles and on horses, and there was one horse that was specifically guarding right where the changing of the guards happens.
Yeah. And
my God, that was the biggest horse. That horse probably weighed 3,000 pounds.
I mean, he was so muscular and huge. I don't know what they were feeding him. I was like,
what are they feeding the horses here? I mean, oh my God.
Well, it was just him. Whenever he stood next to the other one,
the horse was huge. I'm like, they're just feeding it like fish and chips.
Yeah, I guess
and burgers. I mean,
yeah.
I was like, that horse is about to have a heart attack right here. But
yeah,
it was pretty cool. But anyways, so that was cool. And then after that, that's the tour that ended at Buckingham Palace.
Yep. And then so we toured Buckingham Palace. We were inside for like an hour. They don't let you take any pictures at all, so we don't have any to share, unfortunately, except from the outside. And the outside's beautiful, just like you have seen in pictures and on TV. But I definitely recommend it if you can make it a part of your trip because it was just so neat. So
yeah, it was
like being where the royals still live.
Yeah, and it was really good. What did they say? There was 700 rooms in the whole thing.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
And the queen only uses 30.
Yeah,
or
something like that.
She only uses 30, and they say the queen is actually kind of cheap.
Yeah.
So she likes to keep the air up high or cut.
Well, and that's why they started opening it up to the public 2 months out of the year to pay for the cost to run it, because otherwise it was coming out of taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
So, which of course everybody's going to want to see it if they can. So why not take advantage of that? So, and I want to say, I think the tour for the two of us was like $250, something like that. So
worth it. Well worth it.
Oh, well worth it.
If you're going to go over there, do something like that. You know, super highly recommend that.
Yeah. And in London, we walked everywhere. We didn't take the subway, besides from, someone picking us up from the airport and taking us to the hotel and back to the airport. Other than that, we walked everywhere.
We walked everywhere. The longest walk was when we finished Buckingham Palace, because it sends you out on the backside of it.
Yeah, so we had like a 40-minute walk back or something.
Yeah, that was a longer walk back.
Yeah.
But yeah, we walked everywhere. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's one city that you can get around really good by foot.
Yep. And I always felt very safe. So.
Yeah, always felt very safe. A lot like Amsterdam. Amsterdam, you can get around on foot very easily.
Yes.
I mean, you get around better on foot than you would in a car, just because, the way the roads were, and a lot of one-ways and thin streets and stuff like that. And but yeah, London was very easy to get around. Food was good.
Yes.
That's probably best food we had on the trip.
Yeah, I was going to say that about sums it up, because we really just spent 2 days there. And, it was perfect to just kind of catch a quick highlight of it, as a good starting point for a European adventure. I would definitely recommend it. You can also check. So we flew into Heathrow and we flew out of London City Airport, but there's 6 airports in and around London. So, if you're going to go to any other destination in Europe after London, check all the different airports. So
yeah, I was going to say, how can our listeners get a good deal on flights?
Well, you
use
can
a travel agent.
use a travel agent,
because we do get the special consolidated fares.
Yes,
which is really cool.
Or I also always suggest just the simple tool of Google Flights.
Google Flights, I'm telling you, it's one of the best tools out there for booking flights or just tracking prices.
Right.
Track your flight through your email too, because Google will email you an alert if it goes down or up.
Yes. Yep.
Which I think is really cool.
And you can select, so like if you're going to fly out of London into somewhere else, or into London from somewhere, you can select surrounding airports as well. So then it would search all 3 or all 6 of the airports in and around London, and you could figure out which one would be the best deal.
Yeah. What was your favorite part? So we told everyone kind of what we did. So we did London to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Bordeaux, Bordeaux to Paris.
Yeah.
What was your favorite stop out of all of them? Out of the 4?
Oh, that is tough.
Putting you on the spot.
That's very tough. I would say
mine was Bordeaux. I'm just going to throw mine out there.
I think Bordeaux, but London is a very close second.
Yeah. London was awesome.
Yeah.
London was awesome. It was a little more so I want to let people know too, around the London Eye, if you go do that, it will feel very touristy around
It almost
there.
felt like Vegas a little bit, like how people were out there.
A lot of street vendors.
Yeah, like wearing, Star Wars suits or whatever that you could take pictures with. Like
give them like a couple
stuff.
euros. Yeah, there was a lot
Not
of that.
euros.
Oh, yeah, pounds.
It's pounds.
Duh, pounds, yeah. So, but yeah, that part, because it felt like the Strip of Vegas, because if you walk the Vegas Strip, you're going to see all sorts of things.
Oh, yeah.
And around the London Eye and some areas of London, there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, guess which cup the ball's in.
Yeah.
They move the cups around, like that sort of thing.
And you see Darth Vader, you can take a picture with him.
Right.
And some guy dressed up as Darth. Then we walked by the one guy that was dressed up as a statue.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool.
We talk about one of the easiest gigs in the world, if he makes decent money doing that, is you just dress up like a statue and stand there like a statue. That's all you do.
Yeah. I mean, I guess at least he's trying to do something.
It's probably really hard if you think about it.
I would
sit
think
there.
so, yeah.
But what's really awkward is eventually he's going to have to be done. So he's going to have to move and pack his stuff and leave. And what is that guy sprayed in steel paint?
Oh, yeah, he had all that steel looking paint.
He had a shiny silver
right.
paint on. I was like, eventually, Yeah, just going to work.
Yeah, it's very neat.
Clocking out.
Yeah. So what was you said Bordeaux was your favorite?
Yeah, Bordeaux is my favorite.
Yeah.
Just because it felt like it was off the beaten path. It was a very authentic experience, in my opinion.
Don't ruin.
I know, I'm not going to spoil it. No. So yeah, if you want to know more about Bordeaux, probably in a couple episodes
I was
from
going
now.
to say, we're going to talk about Amsterdam next. We're going to go in the order of our trip.
Amsterdam, then Bordeaux, and then we'll end in Paris. But, maybe we'll weave in some other podcasts in between, so it's not just like boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
What do you think?
Maybe. We'll see.
Drop some travel knowledge on some other topics here.
Yeah, we'll see.
So anyways, and I bet you by our next podcast we'll be, we'll be feeling a little better.
Yes.
I feel fine. You're right. Like, I physically feel fine. Mm-hmm. But definitely, and we pack hand sanitizer. We pack all the stuff that you need to stay germ-free on a flight, and you'll still catch it.
Yep.
It's just the sheer amount of time you're in this capsule with people.
Yes. It is. I love Europe, and I love going there, but... Gosh, it's a long flight.
The flights. Bring back the Concordia.
Honestly, though, the London flight did not feel that long. Even though we didn't sleep, to me, it still did not feel that long. The one back from Paris felt a lot longer. Maybe that's because we didn't have entertainment. But
we're going to have to go back at the flight tracker because I swear getting in, it was 6 hours and 51 minutes. That's what it said on the screen. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong because that is very fast.
No, you are wrong because I think that was the time.
Well, I was going on 30 hours, 30 straight hours without sleep, so I could have been seeing anything, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll call it a show on that, guys. If you heard anything you want more... Oop, I almost knocked my mic off. If you heard anything you want more information on, hit us up at penyaktravel.com or Facebook or Instagram at penyaktravel. We need to get like our Twitter game up and all that stuff.
I don't know how to tweet. Never had a Twitter. So
I've got a Twitter, but I don't really use it that much.
Yeah, but definitely, too, really quick, just to sum it up, I definitely recommend London, even if it's just a starting point to someplace cooler in Europe, or I shouldn't say cooler, but, just different. Start there. You can do it in 2 days and at least hit all the highlights and then, go somewhere else. So
I love it. Well, we will catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.